I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, end of the fight, they all crying niggas. I make it.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight. I'm going to win the fight. It's simple as.
For you, I think I said this before people killed me. I said that this reminds me, and it's be like Pacquiao when he fought De La Hoya. So at the end of the day, looking forward, off of the last fight with Canelo, I like Crawford every bit as much as I did before.
Terence Crawford has never shied away from danger, and with Canelo Alvarez in his sights, the boxing world is locked in. Crawford, sharp as ever, sent out a chilling warning that shook the sport. For him, this isn't about money or fame, it's personal. He's coming to dismantle Canelo's dominance, to break the aura of the Mexican icon, and to prove that no kingdom is untouchable when Crawford steps through the ropes.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight. And I'm going to win the fight. It's simple as that.
That's it. About if there's any rematch clause for this fight with Canelo.
No, it's not.
So you push for?
No, I didn't.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
A lot of fighters would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want to manage this. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want to manage best.
Many believe Canelo Alvarez's natural size and power give him the edge, pointing to his dominance across weight classes. But Terence Crawford refuses to flinch. To him, this is nothing new. His entire career has been built on facing and outsmarting bigger men, sparring regularly with light heavyweights and even heavyweights. Crawford's team reinforces that truth, reminding critics he rarely trained with fighters his own size, even at lighter divisions. That constant grind against stronger opponents has hardened him, sharpened him, and prepared him to thrive under pressure, erasing any so-called disadvantage when he faces Canelo.
I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, end of the fight, they all crying niggas. I make it. Everybody's talking about size and, me being a smaller fighter. But if you look on the stage, I've been sparring these big dudes. Like that. I'm gonna take a punch. I see every time we so, okay, once you get in the ring and they see something different, like each and every time, it's gonna be another excuse. Why the reason why parents won and this and that and this, but I can assure you, you'll be victorious. And after that, we don't have any praise.
In a bold revelation, Terence Crawford disclosed that he personally contacted Saudi power player Turki Al-Sheikh to push for the massive showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Al-Sheikh played a pivotal role in sealing the deal, turning the fight into a reality this September. Crawford never hesitated about moving up in weight. Instead, he embraced the challenge with unwavering confidence, dismissing worries about Canelo's size. For Crawford, this leap isn't a risk. It's a golden opportunity he's determined to conquer.
Going to Turkey, Al-Sheikh, and letting him know that I was interested in fighting Canelo. And him and a lot of people, at first, they was like, nah, he's too big. You need to, focus on your weight class and things like that. But at the time, I'm like, well, there's no one at my weight class that's on that level of Canelo. Canelo comes from a smaller weight class. He's not a massive fighter, 6 foot tall. He's thick, but he's not giant. Picking Canelo was the thing that we looked deeply into.
Terence Crawford consistently emphasizes that no opponent is ever underestimated, regardless of their fame or achievements. Every fight, for him, demands total focus and flawless preparation. He enters the ring with unwavering discipline, never careless, and always attentive to detail. This same relentless mindset drives his approach to the Canelo Alvarez showdown. Crawford treats each bout as the pinnacle of his career, maintaining sharp training, relentless conditioning, and precise strategy. These habits have molded him into one of boxing's most technically skilled fighters, always poised to perform under intense pressure.
Every day, When you look at Spence, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Postal, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Masvidal, that was one of my big challenges because I was moving up in weight and, given the circumstances that, his background, amateur background and things like that, Gamboa was my biggest one. They all big challenges in their own right.
Have you put on a lot of weight or muscle? Like, how is it that from? Because I know a lot of people said, like, hey, you're fighting a big guy, wants to cater just to fighting guys that are bigger than him. It might be smart to put on a little bit more, like, mass.
It comes natural with working out.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the only thing about this camp different than any other camp is I don't gotta cut muscle. I don't gotta, watch what I do in strict condition. I can, go fully all out, and just do what I need to do to get stronger.
For you, how much is the skull fight performance kind of like a thing you're keeping an eye on?
Well, that's not a fight that I really, look into because, Canelo is a great fighter, and then one bad performance don't define the fighter, you know, given the circumstances of his previous fights, and we looking forward to Canelo being the best Canelo that he can be. Skull might not have made him get to that point where he felt any danger or any significance where he had to go to that deeper level in training or take the fight as serious as he's taking this fight. So I don't know. What was up with that fight.
Yes, I'm sure that, let me know, just your perspective on it. Some have said that you have to fight like Skull in order to win the fight. Like, do you feel that you have to fight that way to beat Canelo, or you're like, no, I have to beat him at the distance?
I'm just fighting my fight. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they have their opinions. They have, what's going to happen.
When asked about the toughest battles of his career, Terence Crawford didn't pause. He openly acknowledged the challenges posed by fighters like Errol Spence Jr., Victor Postal, and others who tested him in different ways. Spence, Crawford admitted, was a monumental challenge due to the fight's magnitude and the elite skill set Spence brought into the ring. Postal, with his length and technical style, forced Crawford to make constant adjustments. Even fighters like Yuriorkis Gamboa presented unique dangers, combining lightning-fast hands with deep amateur experience. Each opponent, Crawford explained, was a mountain to climb, and he approached every fight as a defining moment in his career. The conversation naturally shifted to the question of weight, a topic fans and critics can't seem to stop discussing. Crawford was asked whether he needed to pack on extra muscle for his showdown with Canelo Alvarez, given that Canelo is a natural 168-pounder accustomed to facing bigger opponents. Crawford's response was calm, confident, and unwavering. He explained that the weight gain feels completely natural, resulting from the hard work in training rather than forcing his body unnaturally. Unlike previous camps where cutting weight was a factor, this time he can fully focus on strength, pushing himself without restraint, and simply building power without compromising stamina. On Canelo's recent performance against John Ryder, nicknamed Skull by fans, Crawford refused to downplay the Mexican superstar. He stressed that one fight doesn't define a champion. Canelo is elite, Crawford said, and every matchup carries its own context. Perhaps Ryder didn't push Canelo to his deepest reserves, or maybe the threat wasn't significant enough. Against Crawford, however, Canelo will face the sharpest, strongest version of himself. Crawford is preparing for a champion at the top of his game, not a fighter past his peak. Strategy was the next topic, with some observers suggesting Crawford might need to emulate Ryder's style, pressuring Canelo, taking risks, and closing distance. Crawford dismissed that notion outright. His focus isn't to copy anyone else, it's to dictate the fight on his terms. Just fight my fight, he said. He trusts his own skills, adaptability, and ring intelligence above all. Fans will speculate and offer predictions, but Crawford knows the result will be decided inside the ropes. When the bell rings, he's ready to prove once again why he's among boxing's most dangerous and technically gifted fighters.
There's just guys that just have preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz. You know that the shield, the weird hand shield they hold out for books? And he's like, this is not for social. This is just power. He's like, don't try to be fast with this, use power. You see him there, bro, he hits so hard.
Canelo Alvarez enters with his feared counterpuncher reputation, but Terence Crawford thrives on pressure. With flawless footwork, sharp timing, and elite adaptability, Crawford can dismantle cautious opponents and exploit every opening. Analysts praise his jab, movement, and ring IQ, while Canelo relies on raw power and durability. Though some argue size favors Canelo, Crawford's precision, versatility, and discipline at super middleweight make him a serious threat. This is the fight boxing has been waiting for, a clash of skill versus power. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe, share, and like now to stay updated on every twist and historic moment of this monumental showdown.